This is the convening of the Cottonwood Mayor and City Council of the City of Cottonwood for presentation of proclamations, awards, and introduction of new city employees to be held April 2nd, 2019 at 5:30 p.m. And we have almost a full council with us tonight. We have Vice Mayor Henry, Councilmember Nairn, Councilmember Althouse, Councilmember Holz, as well as Councilmember Harigi, and Councilmember Matthews unfortunately isn't here yet, but I'm sure he'll show up later. So just two items tonight. First item is a proclamation proclaiming April 2019 as National 911 Education Month. Is there anyone here tonight to receive this? Ms. Carpenter? Okay, I'll go ahead and read it and then we'll call you. Okay. So whereas 911 is nationally recognized as the number to call in an emergency to receive immediate help from police, fire, emergency medical services, or other appropriate emergency response entities. And whereas 911 was designated by Congress as the national emergency call number under the Wireless Communications and Public Safety Act of 1999. And whereas the Enhanced 911 Act of 2004 established Enhanced 911 as a high national priority as part of our nation's homeland security and public safety. And whereas people of all ages use 911, and it is critical to educate the public of all ages on the proper use of 911. And whereas a growing segment of the population, including the deaf, hard of hearing, deaf-blind, and individuals with speech disabilities increasingly communicate with non-traditional text, video, and instant messaging communication services, and anticipate that these services will be able to connect directly to 911. And whereas thousands of 911 calls are made every year by children properly trained on the use of 911, resulting in lives saved, which underscores the critical importance of training children early in life about 911. And whereas there is widespread misuse of the 911 system, including prank and non-emergency calls, which can result in costly and inefficient use of 911 and emergency response resources. Now therefore, I, Tim Alinsky, Mayor of Cottonwood, Arizona, do hereby proclaim April 2019 as National 911 Education Month and call upon all government officials, parents, teachers, school administrators, caregivers, business leaders, nonprofit organizations, and the people of Cottonwood, Arizona to observe this month with training, events, and activities to educate the public on 911 and its services. So why don't we call you up then and you can share some more information, please. Thanks, Marie.
Thank you, Mayor Alinsky, for issuing this proclamation. And I do have a few notes regarding 911 Education Month. If you didn't know, last year was the 50th anniversary of 911. The first 911 call was made in Haleyville, Alabama by Senator Rankin Fite on February 16, 1968. There have been a lot of changes to 911 in the last 51 years, and that's in terms of the technology as well as the industry, if you'll call it that, the profession. Dispatchers, telecommunicators, 911 call takers, they really evolved in their role where they started as what was considered an entry-level clerical position, and it's really evolved into a first responder role. In 1991 is when that recognition really started to come to the forefront, when the Association of Public Safety Communications Officials lobbied Congress for a formal designation honoring public safety telecommunicators. And Proclamation 6,667 was signed on April 12, 1994 by President Bill Clinton, acknowledging that health and safety and well-being are dependent on the commitment and steadfast and devotion of public safety telecommunicators, and that they are the unseen first responders. So in kicking off National 911 Education Month, it's important to also note that we have the second week of April, which is coming up here shortly, which is National Public Safety Telecommunicator Appreciation Week. And in doing so, it's worthy to note that there is a bill in the House right now that was introduced by Representatives Norma Torres, who is a former public safety telecommunicator, and Brian Fitzpatrick, a former FBI agent, to formally designate public safety telecommunicators as first responders. With that being said, the role of the public safety telecommunicator, like I said before, has evolved and changed. And where they were initially considered someone who just answered the phone and relayed information, they are now a critical element of the chain of survival. In over 20 years, I had never met a survivor of sudden cardiac arrest, especially not one that I had a role in. And in 7 months, we've had 2 opportunities to meet cardiac arrest survivors that our dispatchers at the Cottonwood Public Safety Communications Center had a role in. First one on September 18th of last year, and then again today at the Sedona Fire District, a second challenge coin was issued to a survivor who survived sudden cardiac arrest. Also, the technology is changing and evolving. When the 911 was first implemented, it was never thought that wireless devices would be using the system. They didn't really have a concept for that, nor did the concept of GPS location of a wireless call come into play. And now here we are in 2019, looking down the barrel at this antiquated 911 network, trying to figure out how we're now going to receive text message, picture messages, and videos via 911. And it's a really exciting time that we're in here in Cottonwood because we're tentatively scheduled to get on to the next generation 911 network on June 26th. What that will do is that'll put us in a position where we can request a turn up of the text to 911. And we're really excited about that opportunity because it'll expand 911 services to a larger portion of our population, those who, as noted in the proclamation, who may be deaf or hard of hearing, or simply do not have the ability to verbalize their emergency. With that being said, I just want to say thank you very much for this proclamation and for the recognition. If anyone would like more information about the information before the House, it is known as the 911 Saves Act. Thank you very much.
Okay, next is introduction of new employees. We have KRISTEN MUENZ, and I hope I pronounced that correctly. I didn't have it. It's close. Close, okay, I'm sorry. I was going to try to get you before the meeting, but I got wrapped up. So, communications specialist. And is it again Marie Carpenter going to introduce her? Great, come on up.
Mayor and Council, thank you again for the opportunity. It's a privilege and an honor to introduce our newest communications specialist, KRISTEN MUENZ. I struggled too. Okay. I wanted to make it something like MUENZ, but it is MUENZ. And KRISTEN just recently started with us. She's our newest employee. And she moved here to Cottonwood in 2013. Anybody from Michigan or familiar with the Michigan hand, the thumb? She's initially from the thumb of Michigan. Is it Lapeer? Lapeer, all right. She's most recently worked at the Arizona Credit Union and worked in banking. She has a small child who is almost 9 months old, probably 9 months now, 9.5. And she enjoys biking, knitting, baking, drawing, sewing. She's very creative. And making some decent gluten-free desserts that I have yet to plagiarize from her. She really likes the views and bike lanes here in Cottonwood. I know we've come a long way here in Cottonwood for making it a bike-friendly community. I have had the pleasure of seeing some of her craft work. She actually made an adorable knitted costume for, I believe it was a family member who was at St. Jude's Hospital. And it was a Paw Patrol uniform, so it was complete with the ears and the little policeman's hat. So very, very creative. So welcome to the Cottonwood Police Department, Public Safety Communications, and it's a pleasure having you join on our team and part of our family. You want to say anything?
just like to say that I realized that communication specialist, my new career, is very important to the community as a public service, and I intend to do my best for the community and to make my family proud.
Okay, that wraps up our pre-meeting, so we'll be meeting again for our regular meeting at 6.